We are Sorted, a group of mates who have your back when it comes to all things food. From cooking battles to gadget reviews
And it's not worth it.
and cookbook challenges to a midweek meal packs app.
Crack your eggs, bake.
We uncover the tools that'll help us all cook and eat smarter. Join our community where everything we do starts with you.
Hey, today we're going to put two of our normals, Jamie and Barry, head to head in a battle to recreate a dish that you guys have requested so much. It's sweet. We've picked one up from a bakery nearby. All you have to do is recreate it, and we've given you the most simple set of instructions to follow.
Now, the recipes we have given you are quite vague, but we thought we'd put your skills to the test. So would you like to lift the cloche and see what you're making?
Put it back. Put it back. What was that?
That is a Swedish Princess Cake.
Right, sorry. Sorry, you think, sorry, what? People have, but that's the most requested thing.
It's nothing to do with us.
So wait a minute, it's kind of like, it looks a bit Bakewell tarty, but then you put like some sort of curd and a custard and a, sorry, is that a cake on top of a cake?
How is that so light?
It's beautiful.
There are going to be two very disappointed Swedish princesses later.
Okay, it's pretty hot here today, so I wouldn't hang about. We've given you all the ingredients weighed out, and we've given you a very basic recipe. It's on your boards. Off you go.
I'm thinking if I leave now, what's the worst that could happen?
First step here is to make a creme pat. What should I say? The step before that is to remember how to make a creme pat, then try and make it. I'm going to separate my eggs first, and then I'll work the rest out.
A couple of weeks ago, you made creme pat for Milfway, and you did it completely wrong.
I know.
So remember what you did wrong and learn from the mistakes.
Yeah, last time I forgot the eggs. This time I'm starting with eggs. I've just forgotten everything else. Why can I not access the part of my brain that happened last week? I've been standing here for about 2 minutes holding this jar thinking, do I pour this into this pot full of corn flour? But now you're pointing camera at me, I've got no choice.
There's many things I would have done, but that wasn't one of them. I think I'm overthinking this. Put my sugar into my separated eggs because that's a thing. It may not be the thing, but it is a thing. I've put this white powder into my eggs and sugar mix. Look, this is corn flour, right? So what if now I put that into a pan and slowly start heating it? Ooh. No, they would have done that. It just amazes me. Literally don't know. A little bit of vanilla.
The way to make creme pat is to heat up your milk, infuse with vanilla, and then pour over your custard base. And your custard base is egg yolks, sugar, and in the case of creme pat, corn flour to stabilise
The
it.
corn flour in the eggs, not in the milk. Okay.
Hot milk onto egg yolk mixture, whisk back into the pan, cook until it's cooked out and thickened.
So I feel like I did everything right, is the way I take it, apart from the fact that I put the corn flour into the milk rather than into the eggs. Yeah. I've now put the starchy milk into the eggs, mix it up, going back into onto the heat again. I'm going to warm it up so it thickens a bit more, and then I'm going to pass it.
I started heating my custard mix as Ebba's lost his patience and finally explained how to make creme pat. At which point, it was quick enough for me to divert and pour my custard mix back into the bowl and instead heat up my milk, which I'm now going to pour into my custard mix whilst whisking. To be honest, I stopped listening.
The butter is a slight curveball in this recipe and is to be whisked into the creme pat right at the end, and it sets up in the fridge to make it even more glossy and firm.
We are not getting glossy or firm creme pat then.
I've got some spare egg whites. Now I think they are for I'll use those in my sponge later on to make it extra light and fluffy. In with my very sloppy butter. Right, covering it. Oh, it's bloody hot that is. Covering it so a skin doesn't form on it, and it's going into the fridge.
Yep, and the bit from inside the sieve that hadn't been sieved got thrown in as well.
Well, that was a waste of everyone's time, wasn't it?
You've both got step 1 out the way.
You're seeing a man at his very weakest right now.
Genoise Sponge is from a Swiss roll. And a cake for a Swiss roll is incredibly light and airy. So I'm going to separate my eggs and I'm going to whisk the egg whites separately.
We both could be looking very silly right now.
Yeah, because I'm sure the Swiss roll batter didn't have any fat in it, so I'm confused by the butter.
Just put marzipan over that, mate.
Sugar's going into my egg yolks. I'm going to whip that up until nice and fluffy. I think I can go in my flours now. Right, corn flour is now going in, and my baking powder. Going down, and then in my butter, I think.
I'm going to whisk my sugar into my egg yolks.
I'm going to put some of my egg whites in for funsies. But not all of them.
There aren't many food channels out there that you would watch through and see people doing it so wrong in order to learn. I think that's something we offer.
Jamie, whatever you do, don't do what I'm doing. It just doesn't look right or feel right.
Jay's been copying you the whole time, dude.
I'm going to fold some flour into my eggs and sugar.
How you feeling, Baz?
Right, all my egg white is now in, and now try and fold this without losing too much air.
Mine looks very different from yours, but also just as wrong.
Are you making a dough?
I'm trying to turn my bread dough into a cake batter by adding my egg whites slowly.
So now you're both at roughly the same stage. A Genoise sponge is basically a Swiss roll sponge that then has melted butter folded through at the end. But remember, a Swiss roll sponge is whole egg whisked up with sugar until it's about 3 times the volume. Then you carefully fold in the flours, and then in Genoise you carefully fold in the melted butter. So you didn't need to separate out your eggs, you just needed to put loads of volume by whisking together whole egg and sugar.
What is that?
I don't know what this is.
It looks terrible.
It looks like a vomit cake. Anyway, that's going into Jamie's oven.
Schlad. That is a smooth cake batter. So I'm going to pop this into my oven, 180 degrees Celsius, for 20 minutes and then check it.
This is my only hope now. This is what I've got to save this dish. This is going to be the best rose I've ever made. Red dye into the middle, then mix it through.
I'm going to start with my leaves because I'm putting my rose off. There is more colour on my gloves than there is on this fondant.
So we've given you the sugar paste already done. All you need to do is colour it and shape it. Barry's found his stride now. He's kind of just like cracking on. He thinks he knows what he's doing here.
Barry's doing a fantastic job, isn't he? It's all Barry at the moment.
For the first time ever, I have the confidence in this field to go, screw you and screw you too.
I've done some leaves. I've got some red. I'm going to make some roses. My timer's just gone off. My cake's had 20 minutes. It's not done yet.
You've got about an hour and 15 minutes remaining.
Oh my goodness, this is so floppy.
Next up, marzipan. In front of you, you've got everything you need. Ground almonds, icing sugar, eggs, and almond extract.
1, 2, 3. Next step. 1, 2, 3.
It's almost like a ballet, isn't it? So many ballets were written about princesses.
Together, we have added our almonds, our sugar, and then our icing sugar.
Almond extract.
No, it is super easy. Whole eggs beaten into icing sugar, ground almonds, and sugar with almond extract. As long as you've got the weights and measurements correct, the rest will happen.
This feels wrong.
Don't quite agree.
Okay, most of the stuff you've made is now cooled or rested. We're going to give you 30 minutes to construct and do those finishing touches. Off you go. Oh, Jay, have a look at where you're going.
You are standing on the sidelines giving us crap for something that you've not done yourselves.
Oh, how close, how far do I go? We have stiff peaks. Are they stiff enough?
They look good, yeah. If you'd cut that into 3 instead of 2 like you're supposed to, whew, you'd be on a roll.
I have cut it into 3.
That's trim, that's not a slice.
You want me to do that in half again?
You could go half again, yeah, for sure.
I think you'd end up with a better finished product if it was half that thickness again.
I think the video would end up a better finished product.
Whether you can do it or not.
I could just make do with what I've got.
Stick to your guns.
Now in theory with Genoise is you get a lot of height and it's a really soft sponge, so you've got more sponge to work with in order to cut it into 3.
I think I have cream and not butter. But at this point, who cares?
25 minutes remaining.
It's construction o'clock. So, I'm going to just follow these instructions. Cake, jam, cake, custard, mound of cream, cake, cream, chill.
I'm focusing. Please don't talk to me.
15 minutes remaining. Barry, you've spent 5 minutes slicing one layer off.
As far as creme pats go, that's quite patty, isn't it?
Remember to leave yourself time to roll out your marzipan.
Oh!
Help!
Ah!
I've sliced my cake as thin as possible, but I have got 3 layers.
8 minutes.
Jamie, what am I doing? How the do I shape that into a dome without losing all of its height? What is this?
I honestly couldn't be more glad that I'm not making this.
I've made Ireland.
This is going to be tough to lift onto a cake, but if it's thin enough, it should just drape over. 3 minutes.
Ah! I've got a hand, Jamie.
I have my own problems, Barry.
Last 90 seconds.
Me. It all went wrong, so I'm now just embracing it.
You can stop whenever you like.
I am terrible at this bit, so I'm just going with the flow.
Last 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step away from the cakes, boys.
Oh my God.
Should we get them into the sexies? What do you think, James?
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah, wow. That's a great word.
I don't often say it, but I think I prefer this one.
I like the shape of this one and the rose, but I like the colour of the leaves on that.
I'm going to take a slice out of each and put them side by side, and then we'll taste them.
Oh!
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 Oh! What?
Usually the most tense cutting moment I've ever been a part of was up to this point was the beef Wellington. This tops it. Oh God!
Oh.
Poor cutting tech as Ebbers. He's missed a bit of sponge in there.
It looks brilliant!
You can see the custard in that one.
Mine's drooped over the edge a little bit.
Interesting.
I have to be honest, boys. They have got the wobble that I expect from a princess cake.
That layer of custard is calling to me, but this was just so impressive. There was a point where I honestly thought this might be the first time we don't have anything.
Yeah.
Right, I'll both try this one first.
Okay.
Whose is this? This is Barry's. It's the combination of raspberry and almond. That homemade marzipan is excellent, heavy on the jam. It's almost Bakewelly, but what I'm most impressed with is the thinness of the sponge layers, the Genoise, the layers and the formation.
It's really close.
If I was picking holes, I'd say I'd want twice as much custard to match the thickness of jam.
Yeah, I'm not really getting the custard unless it's just a bit of a background kind of enhancement, but that's why I want to try Jamie's now, because I want to see the difference. I'm glad that you can still see the line of jam. I thought you'd been uncharacteristically stingy.
You made that perfectly clear, yes.
Much more on the vanilla.
It's very different.
And not enough jam.
Oh.
Yeah, I think you're right. The main difference I find is that Jamie's is a lot more like a sponge cake, whereas Barry's has a lot more cream to sponge in terms of ratio, and I feel like that's closer to the original cake that we tried.
Yep, you can't do that with mine.
The thinness of that sponge is better. The thickness of that custard is better.
I don't know how, but they're both delicious.
They might not be Swedish Princess cakes.
Who cares?
And they're not perfect, but what they are excellent. Like I think what you both just demonstrated, despite missing a lot of technical know-how in the traditional way, you've still ended up with something that's worked.
Have you?
We have conferred. James?
We don't agree 100%.
Oh.
But for me, it has to be Barry's.
And whilst I 100% agree on the structure and the layers, I actually preferred the flavour of that, and I think it's the creme pat and the vanilla. And maybe this is unfair, but I think the decoration was better because of where I expected you to be. As in, you exceeded expectations, whereas that is kind of what I'd yeah, with a handicap involved, I think Jamie's was best.
So it's a draw.
So it's not up to us, it's a draw. We can't decide, which means it's over to you guys. Comment down below. Who do you think today made the best princess cake?
Usually I'd say sitting on the fence, we can't do that, but I'm with you.
Both delicious.
You were in it together.
We've also built the Sorted Club, where you can get tons of foodie inspo using the PAX Midweek Meal app, discover and share restaurant recommendations using the Eat app, listen and contribute to our Feast Your Ears podcast, and send us ideas for new cookbooks you'll receive throughout the year. Check it all out by heading to sorted.club. And now a blooper.
How is this sounding in your ears? Is it better or worse than Ebba's eating?